Welcome back aboard BLERD Force 1 with your boys Mo and Ladi. And today we are reviewing X-Men 97, Episode 5. It's entitled Remember It. It's coming to you from Disney+. So, what did we think about it, and should you be watching? And before we get into this review, get down there, hit like on this video. Ladi, it's all sunshine and rainbows in Episode 5 of X-Men 97. Genosha is going to get, admitted to the United Nations as, a member nation. Everything looks great over there, and they really want a very infamous, mutant terrorist, aka Magneto, to be their leader. But, some people might have a problem with that. Also, back at the X Mansion, Jean, Scott, and Wolverine are just messy as hell, with their whole little love triangle or quadrangle, whatever. And, Storm, Magneto, and Gambit trying to figure their stuff out too. Man, there's so much stuff's going on in this one. The internet's blowing up about this episode. We got to talk about it. Ladi, my friend, you saw Episode 5. What did you think about it?
I am utterly shocked how much they were able to fit in 30 damn minutes. Just that episode felt like it was an hour long because the amount of memes or stuff that people talk about that happens with this episode, because Scott going off. This is not my feeling, but this is what some people are saying. Rogue for the streets. My name is. We'll talk about it as spoilers. My name is blank. Remember it. So much happened in this episode that by far the best episode of this season. Was not expecting it. I remember my brother gave a very good assessment of the episode. My brother told me before I even watched it. You know what he told me?
What's that?
He said X-Men had their red wedding episode.
That's about right. I think I called it. I think someone I followed, Kenny Sparks, was talking about it on Threads, and I was like, yeah, it's like they said, well, what if Game of Thrones, but with these characters you knew and loved since you were a kid? And I was like, just ruining childhood memories, really. It's S tier, an S tier episode. It's this peak. This is like peak, Marvel production as far as I'm concerned. It's so peak, in fact, that now I really want to know what the hell happened with Bo DeMayo, because he wrote this episode, right? In fact, he came out of his silence about the show to talk about the fact that this episodes 1 through 5 were the warm up, and his real, the episodes he really wanted to do was 8 through 10. So this is if this is a warm up, I'm dead, because ain't no way. This episode is amazing in so many ways. One, the writing is like top notch, just straight up. Not just the the action sequence is cool, but like the interpersonal dialogue is so great. There's two love triangles, or one love triangle, one love quadrangle being sorted out here. There's a lot of messy soap opera shit going on between the different characters. It's so much so that I was like, how the hell is Wolverine the one that's got the most damn sense out of you people?
Exactly.
Also, it looks like everything's coming up Millhouse for the mutants. Genosha is established, looking like mutant Wakanda up in that bitch. And then meanwhile at the X Mansion, you got Trish Tilby is interviewing all of the people who are back at the X Mansion and talking about, basically to give a good, I don't want to call it a puff piece, but a good PR piece for mutants. Yeah. And then that's the first half of the episode. Gambit learning about Rogue and all that, her history with Magneto and all that messy shit that's going on. And you got, dude, did you see how many cameos were in this episode? It's ridiculous.
Yes.
Some mutants that I'd never thought I'd see animated or live action or whatever, like Pixie. That was just cool. I saw like Boom Boom. I think I may have seen Cannonball. Archangel was there. There's all these people. Our boy Nightcrawler came back, right? And he's as awesome as ever. Just a delight to see. All it, and the whole bit with like there's a bit we're gonna get spoilers soon, but there's a bit between Magneto and Rogue, set to Ace of Base. Just all of this stuff is going on, and then the shit hits the fan, and it turns into the most tragic fucking episode ever, to the point where I'm like, can kids watch this? I'm wondering, can kids watch this? Because this was an amazing episode, but my God, the ending of it is so fucking tragic and so like heartfelt that people were on threads, like they're like, I'm bawling, I'm crying, like I'm shook. People just like all of that. My whole timeline was full of this. That's how badass episode it was. So like I said, I needs to know what the hell Bo DeMayo did, because my man delivered a stellar episode. He has delivered stellar episodes up to this point. This is one of the best damn MCU things ever.
Yes.
And I cannot understand why that guy is no longer working with Marvel Studios, because this is too good. I mean, I don't even know if I want to know. I'm just saying, like, Marvel Studios saw the output. They have seen this season. They know it's good, and they got him work. He worked on season 2, and they still parted ways with him. Come on. I mean, we don't have to go into that. Well, I'm just saying that's how good this episode is.
Yeah, this episode was great, man. What did I say to you when I watched after I finished the episode? I said, when did Robert Kirkman start making X-Men episodes? Because this felt like an episode of Invincible. It literally felt like I was watching Invincible. Because I'm like, why are they dying? Just like, what is happening?
They had the courage to actually, like, there's a bunch of people die in this episode. Let's just say that. And we're going to get into spoilers in just a minute.
Yes.
A lot of people die in this episode. A lot of no names or just people you've seen, but they're not, right? So a bunch of people die. But they kill main characters. And I'm just like, okay, all right, y'all not playing. They're not playing at all in this show. Real stakes. To the point where I'm like, they better not dare have Cable or Bishop try to fix this. I don't want it. They need to commit to the things they did in this episode to make this feel 100% real for forever, So I'm hoping there's no time travel shenanigans going on. But like I said, 10 out of 10, S tier, peak. What other superlatives can we give this? Just one of the best damn episodes of TV I've ever seen. Definitely one of the top tier comic book properties, installments I've ever seen. All of that stuff. Great stuff. And so we've been very careful about spoilers because it's so good. We want you to experience it yourself. So if you have not seen the episode, go watch it and then come back, because we're going to talk spoilers right now. Ladi, I know we're going to talk about the end of the episode, but let's talk about the first half of the episode before that. Scott is a badass, and he's cool, but also he's a dumbass, and he's kind of a snake. Is that fair? I mean, like, he's sitting up there. It's like dating a twin, man. You can't sleep around with the other twin, even if it's psychically. Like, Scott, come on now. Even though, to be fair, that's his wife, right? Like, so this shit is so weird. And Jean being like, how long has this been going on? How long have you guys been psychically fucking? And it's like a month, I guess. I was just all broken. It's literally just like soap opera shit, right?
Yeah.
But Lottie, how about how I screamed when Jean leaned in and kissed Wolverine, kissed Logan, and I was like, "You messy ass bitch."
Yeah. There's so much mess in this episode. Rogue, Jean, just my God. I said the same thing. I was like, don't do that to Logan. He does not deserve it.
Well, to be fair, he's so stand up. He was like, "Nah, it ain't in the cards for us. Go see your husband." And her husband's a messy ass bitch too. Like I'm sitting up, I'm like, really? So he probably like, well, it's not really cheating, is it? Because we're just talking on the phone. Man, if you don't get the hell out of here. But oh my God, like just ridiculous. But I also liked Scott a lot in this episode when he was just like, you know what, I'm done. I'm done code switching with you motherfuckers right here. When Trish Tilby was digging into like, where's your son and what's going on and all this other stuff, she was being real like digging into. She was like, you know what, I'm done. I'm done using my what is it, my call was it not that call service, customer service voice. I'm done with my customer service voice. It's time for me to put on my dashiki and say what's up for real. And I love how he just went off on her. Like, he stopped being the nice mutant. He started being, he started being the mutant that tells it like it is.
Exactly. Because it's true. I mean, thank God. Because it's true. Because people they'll be like, well, mutants didn't save everybody. Mutants and metahumans are literally the reason why the Earth has not been turned into a smoldering pile of dust. And for some reason, you guys are still like MAGA. Like we literally saved your lives, and you're like, fuck mutants. Like, God.
They're like, he's like, we gotta keep proving to you that we're really human. If it get the, like we're real people. I was like, go off, Scott. Just go off for real. So that bit was cool. So we also get, as we move into the later half of the episode, we find Madeline Pryor. She is one of the leaders of Genosha. Again, Genosha literally looking like Wakanda. When they show up, they send Gambit, Rogue, to go like check and Magneto to go check everything out there, be there for the festivities of them joining the UN. Shit, I mean, I'm not kidding. I said that on social media, but like it literally was like, hey, you remember when in Black Panther we first saw Wakanda for the first time? It's like that, except with mutants. And even with the little like drum beat, like, African music or whatever the hell. And I'm like, we doing this? Okay, we're doing this. And so that's when Gambit gets to find out about Rogue's past with Magneto. Now, I do not agree that she's for the streets. Which I always thought that was a silly ass, kind of a silly ass thing that people say, but she's not for the streets. She has never committed to Gambit. She, in fact, has been holding that man at arm's length. She has pretty much been like, well, we can't really be together because we can't touch each other. And so that whole little heart-to-heart thing that they had was really, that was a really good scene where she finally sort of is like making her choice between him and Magneto. I will say though that, I give Gambit this for accepting the friend zone so in such an honorable way. Even after hearing about Magneto sort of taking advantage of the master-student relationship, he's still like, you know what, fine, do your thing. Do you like, someone was saying that it's low-key grooming, and I'm like, hey, she's a grown-up, but two, like be careful about talking about grooming with characters or with people like that. That's that's a real charged kind of accusation.
Isn't Rogue like mid 20s now or something?
I mean, she and Gambit would be about the same age. Yeah, but I mean, who knows? This was after she left home or whatever, so they didn't say how long afterwards. but it was after she got her powers from Miss Marvel. So
Yeah.
Either way, I just do you think that's a fair assessment of that he was taking advantage of her? I mean, it feels a little bit like it. It feels a little bit like it to me.
It feels like it, but I don't think he really. I am not 100%. I don't feel that he was, but we all know Magneto. As much as I love Magneto, he's still a dick. Yeah, he's still a dick. But man, he does with his whole point of telling her that, hey, we do need this to lead. He has a point there. Like, listen, you're an X-Men. They will, they will take this a lot more seriously if you're my queen. And I'm just like, this literally feels like Game of Thrones.
And I'm like, queen, motherfucker, you a chancellor. You is not a king. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah. But I'm like, you just using this popper. You could have picked anybody else, but no, it's gotta be Rogue, I guess. You could have said Jean Grey, but whatever. He's using that to slide in there. Okay, I get it. They have their little floating dance and everything like that. I did find it fun that Val Cooper was like, "Oh, y'all are gonna choose a terrorist to be your leader," and he's like, you guys allow your leaders to be terrorists. So I was like, bam, that man got to come back for everything. Like, Magneto is on his game at all times, always on. He's always on point. Never doubt that.
You know that meme of that old black dude that says he ain't lying.
And look, yeah, I get it. Like, if Genosha's run by Magneto, probably people are gonna be like, ooh, they're like the new North Korea. It is interesting that the council is run by the two members of the Hellfire Club and Madeline Pryor, and then Banshee and Moira McTaggart, who is, the only human on the council. Found all of that very interesting. So, all that being said, look, we've been skirting around it. We got to talk about it. Somebody, we don't know who, sets the most badass, no nonsense, genocidal fucking Sentinel onto Genosha, and it proceeds to wreck shop with some beam that is literally just killing mutants left, right, and center. So now, of course, it's time to get raw. Everyone kind of suits up, and gets out there, or at least trying to get people out. So like the Morlocks and everything, they're there. And they're trying to save as many mutants as they can, which leads to, I consider to be some of the most epic fight scenes in which people, I think, who should be wiping the floor with the Sentinel are getting waxed. I was like, oh, Magneto got this. You made a metal. Oh shit! Wait a minute. Wait. Oh, hold on a second. That he's not winning. He's an Omega level threat, and yet could not beat this thing. Rogue could not beat this thing. All of that stuff that was going on, they could not beat that thing. And earlier, in the previous episode, Magneto had said to Leech, "Hey, you never have to be scared again." And look what's happening. He's afraid, and the Morlocks are going to die. But that gives Gambit a opportunity to take a level in badass and proceed to just, to be that dude. Ladi, I mean, I've been talking a lot. Ladi, he was that dude. Am I right?
Yes. What did he say?
The name of Gambit. Remember it.
But what was the one where he said, I call that bet and I'll raise it? I said, oh, shit. I was like, shit, here we go. But what is he gonna do?
my man, first of all, my man was riding a bike like Ghost Rider. Like he was riding that motherfucking motorcycle like Robbie Reyes in this bitch. And just, saving Rogue from getting hit by that blast. We see Magneto and the Morlocks apparently die in the blast, which, by the way, again, top-notch writing. He's at the end, he's having flashbacks to Auschwitz, right?
Yes.
And he starts speaking in German, saying, "Don't be afraid to leech." Like, and then and he's using part of his power to block the thing, but part of it to keep Rogue and Gambit away from the blast so they don't die. Going out like a boss.
Yes.
I mean, look, if that was it, if that was the one death, cool. That's a great ending, right? But then Gambit, but then Rogue, goes Super Saiyan and is just, clouded by anger. And to save her, Gambit more or less knocks her out of the fight and charges this giant Sentinel. And you're like, what the hell can you do, man? It's, you got some cool powers, but what are you going to do? And of course, he charges the bike and blows him up. But then he gets caught and impaled, and he's going to die. So he goes out like a boss, like an absolute, like the boss of all bosses. He is the capo, and just like blows that entire Tri-Sentinel up. I mean, like, and they could have been like, all right, that's cool. Like, that sucks in the end. That's tragic. But then they end in the saddest fucking way possible with Rogue crying over his broken body and saying she can't feel him. And I'm like, how dare you, people? How dare you play with me like that? How dare you play my emotions like this? Ladi, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. That great episode, man. I completely agree. To have him take down the Tri-Sentinel is just one of the best things. It's one of the best ways of giving Gambit, if you're going to kill him off, give him a great farewell. Give him an awesome farewell. And I've told people this. This is what I feel that is going to happen. It's at most a 10% chance, but damn it, this 10% chance needs to happen. Please, let Onslaught come. It is setting up for Onslaught to come. I mean, come on, man. All these Sentinels, every time they're trying to do something good, these Sentinels just come and fuck shit up. Listen. Just do it. Just have it that Charles Xavier really wasn't dead, and then he witnessed Magneto die, and just, man, listen, he just goes ham.
Yeah, it's
please.
This is, I mean, like, who did this? Who did this? Because I want them dead. I want them dead. I want everybody who works for them. Like, you know what I'm saying? I am invested in finding these motherfuckers and just burying them. Absolutely burying them. It's crazy. Like, this is not, Genosha's not mutant Wakanda. Wakanda would never have.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they would have. I mean, it happened in part 2, but you get what I'm saying. This is devastating. We keep going on. Let's not belabor it. Just a great episode. I cannot wait to see what comes next. This is what we live for, This is the sort of superhero stuff we live for. So, anyway, those are all of our thoughts on this episode. What did you guys think about it? What did you think about what we had to say? Get down to the comment section, leave your thoughts there. And of course, you can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com. BLERD_force1 on Threads and on Instagram, super_not_funny show on TikTok. While you're down there, do us a favor, hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. Helps to grow this channel, helps more people to see reviews just like this. All right, thanks for coming. Why can I talk right now? 1, 2, 3. All right, thanks for joining us. Come back next week. We're going to talk about episode 6 of X-Men 97. Until then, I've been Mo, your comment extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime expert, video game designer, and lover of all things superhero, my good friend Ladi. We'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.
Peace.